You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, movie theaters are seeing more life since COVID. Our own Samantha Walker shares how business is booming for local theaters.
Also, we'll see how one small town is coming together to support their own neighbors market.
And we've got some scattered showers and thunderstorms on the forecast. We'll have a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 o'clock on this Monday morning. Hope everybody had a good weekend, good safe 4th.
Yes.
We're here, so we must have been somewhat safe, right?
Right. Well, yeah, you know, you sometimes I'm not sure about, but you're here.
Yeah, I made it. So if I made it, I'm sure you folks made it as well. I know many of you probably had a 4, maybe even 5-day weekend out there. So hopefully you enjoyed it and get ready for the heat to return. We'll get more into that here in just a moment. It's going to be hot enough to make popcorn in your car before too much longer.
Yes, you might as well get that popcorn ready because movie going is back on the rise.
After concerns surrounding the future of movie theaters following the pandemic and rise of streaming services, recent box office numbers show that people are still looking to sit in front of the big screen.
KOAM's Samantha Walker has more.
You know, through the pandemic, it was rough. It was worrisome, for sure.
Since 2020, many movie theater owners across the country have worried about their future. According to a report by Statista, national box office ticket sales dropped drastically following the pandemic. And with the increasing popularity of home streaming for films, it seemed as though theaters were losing their place as a popular activity.
When they had the actor strike, didn't help matters either, and that kind of slowed down production, so it kind of messed up as far as the movies that we were getting as well.
But recent data from the box office shows that moviegoing is back on the rise, despite the popularity of streaming.
You can really you feel immersed in it. It's easier just not waiting. If you really want to see one, you don't have to wait that long.
Last year's summer films Barbie and Oppenheimer helped spur a movement of attendance, with Barbie grossing more than $1.4 billion worldwide. And this year's Inside Out 2 is following suit, grossing more than $1 billion in its first month and becoming the second highest grossing animated film of all time in the U.S.
We were happy, and I know the studios were too. It's been really good so far this summer.
For local theaters like the Plaza Theater in Lamar, the high-grossing films are a happy sign.
It's great to see people back in the theaters. Finally we've got some really good movies and families are coming out enjoying them, and it's nothing like watching a movie in a theater. Just streaming or TV just doesn't do a movie justice, in my opinion.
He hopes to continue filling seats in front of the silver screen for years to come. Reporting in Lamar, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Well, this summer, the Plaza Theater is offering free admission to its kids' summer vacation movies.
And those screenings take place every Tuesday and Wednesday through August the 14th. And yeah, really, there's just something about going and seeing a movie in the theater.
I love it.
It's not the same experience as it is watching it at home.
It really isn't. It's an immersive experience for sure.
It is. I mean, these days it may cost a little more, but it's still worth it because it gets you out of the house. You got to get out of the house sometime, right?
Yes, you do.
Hey, you might as well enjoy that volume cranked as loud as you can, because if you do that at home, you're probably going to upset the neighbors.
That is true. That's a good point.
See?
Go to the movies.
See? All sorts of good reasons to go to the movies. And when it's a rainy day or even a super hot day, another really good reason to go to the movies. Yes. Stay indoors, and we've got that in our forecast. Let's start with a look outside from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex in downtown Joplin. Got mostly cloudy skies in Joplin because through the morning we've had some showers and storms off to the south and to the east of the city. Nothing in Joplin itself at this point. And still cloudy skies visible from our camera at 7th and Range Line, and also looking to the south from the MoDOT camera 32nd and Range Line. However, the last of the showers and storms out there, at least for now, beginning to die out. So this is where they've been. They were stretching back through Neosho all the way up through Mount Vernon, even the parts of northeastern Oklahoma. But now we are just left with these light showers here around Mount Vernon, points in the northern half of Lawrence County. But we will see additional shower and thunderstorm development as we head through the afternoon and evening hours, looking to be initially isolated to widely scattered at first. And then by the evening, not everybody's going to see showers and storms, but as you can see later this evening, evening, we'll see a few more of those scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. All right, temperatures across the region, not bad. Upper 60s and low 70s, so a really nice start to the day. Our highs today at or just a bit below normal as we go mid 80s, and again, scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. We have Hurricane Beryl making landfall now in southeastern Texas, and it will eventually play at least a small role in our forecast as we head into Tuesday. We'll break down all those details for you in the full forecast, and that's coming up here in just a few more minutes, Elise.
All right, thanks, Chris. We'll see you in a bit. Well, Missouri Highway Patrol arrested the fire chief of Nevada, Missouri Friday evening. Arrest reports from Missouri State Highway Patrol show that Michael T. Denny was arrested on July 5th for driving while intoxicated. The 51-year-old serves as the fire chief for the Nevada Fire Department and the emergency management director for the city of Nevada. The fire chief was reportedly responding to an active fire scene driving a City of Nevada vehicle. He was transported to the police department, cited for DWI, then released. Brush Creek Golf and Grill hosted the second annual Freedom Fest golf tournament. The tournament, which is put on by the Columbus Fire Department, is a two-person scramble tournament consisting of 18 holes, and each participant is granted one mulligan for the entire tournament.
Well, to be honest with you, I've never golfed. Today's my first day. I just wanted to get out and be in the community, so I'm here to play, and so we'll see what happens.
We just have about 32 teams signed up this morning to do a golf scramble. It's a jump start to the fundraiser for our Freedom Fest fireworks show for 2025.
Awards were given out for closest to the pin and first and second overall. Local farmers markets are a popular place in the summer for community members to come together and shop locally, supporting each other's businesses. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on one small town working to support a local makers market.
With a population of around 2,100 people, Cherryville, Kansas is by most definitions a small town. But although it may be small, its community is close.
We know everything about everybody. I like a rural community.
In a small gravel church parking lot, the community is coming together, hosting its first Cherryville Makers Market. Its organizer, Elena McPherson, came up with the idea when one of her small businesses hit a block.
We wanted to do a U-pick flower patch, but it kind of just didn't work out this year, and I grew a lot of flowers. So I started going to the Independence Farmers Market, and I figured why not bring it to my own town.
Elena reached out to other locals to see if they would be interested in joining her for a community market, where there are no fees and you can simply set up a table.
We have 7 vendors, and I know that probably doesn't seem like a lot, but for a town this size, I think it's pretty good for the first time.
Booths have a range of goods, including jewelry, flowers, and produce, fresh lemonade, and baked goods.
Give her the money and I'll take a picture with you. Thank you.
Community members were excited to support the market, coming out with their children and even pets.
It's awesome. Someone once said if you build it, they will come, and I definitely see that in all the activities that I try to get going here.
For vendors at the market, they say it's meaningful to see community members come out to support each other like this.
It's very heartwarming to see that it's stepping back up to where it was when I was a kid. I got involved more in the community because I wanted it to be a better place for my daughter. When I grew up, this was my favorite place to be, so I wanted to invest as much time as I could into this town. So it's very heartwarming to see people invest as well.
With support from the community, several vendors sold out at the Makers Market. For those involved, it's a sign of the potential the small market has.
I think this is a great idea. I think anything that brings people together is amazing. We try to do little small events and eventually they become big, so I think this will be another big one for our town.
Reporting in Cherryville, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Saturday was the first Makers Market, and after seeing the community's response, organizers say they hope to make it a monthly event. And those are our top stories this half hour. Coming up next, Lori Horton is back in the studio showing us her recipe for no-bake peanut butter cheesecakes. Welcome back. Lori has been showing us her recipe for no-bake peanut butter cheesecakes. Now, we've made our crust with the cookies from an Oreo cookie and some melted butter. So what is the next step?
Next step is going to be that peanut butter cheesecake filling.
Okay,
so,
yes.
Like I said, it's a no-bake recipe. This is pretty simple, not a lot of ingredients, so Pretty good for a warm day like we've got coming up.
Oh,
So
yes.
all I've got in my bowl right now is a full block of cream cheese. It's been setting out for a little bit, so it's a little bit softened, makes it a little bit easier to mix in. And I'm gonna add to that a cup of powdered sugar. And then I'm gonna try really hard not to throw this all over the studio. Make a little noise here. We just wanna blend that together and get it, you know, well incorporated. It's not gonna be super creamy just yet, but we'll get there. Once we get that blended, we're going to add to it our peanut butter.
Okay.
And we want to use...
Pebbles, like the right
no,
consistency, or
it's
like
actually going to
fully
get a
mixed?
little
Okay.
fully mixed.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to get a little bit past that.
Okay.
So if it stays a little bit chunky, then the cream cheese is probably still just a little cold.
Okay.
Keep mixing. The mixer will warm it up. So we're going to get just a nice fluffy stage to that. We're going to add to it our our peanut butter next. And we want to make sure this is a creamy peanut butter. You can use a chunky if you're going to be like eating them immediately. But what happens when we bake with chunky peanut butter is those peanuts tend to get kind of soft and mushy. It's not tasty. So generally stick with
That's
the creamy.
good to know, yeah.
Yeah, they sort of, I don't know, they just get a little bit mealy in there. So stick with the creamy unless you're just going to be making them and serving it immediately. We'll get that full cup of peanut butter in there. We're going to blend that together with a little bit of vanilla that I already put in my peanut butter. And this is going to get really nice and creamy.
Okay, yes.
So you're going to really whip this and get that speed up a little bit. The cream cheese and the peanut butter really need to get incorporated.
It smells so good, just that sweet peanut
Doesn't
butter
it? I
with the cream
know.
cheese in there.
It smells like the inside of a peanut butter cup right now.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's going to be really nice and fluffy, but still a little bit stiff. So what we're going to add to that last to make it really soft and creamy and get that cheesecake texture is 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. And I have already whipped this to stiff peaks because that's going to take about 4 to 5 minutes.
Right, yes.
Make sure it's nice and cold, but other than that, you're just going to put it on the mixer. I just did it with the hand mixer a few minutes ago. And you're going to mix that in there. Now, ordinarily we have recipes, we would fold that in and be very gentle with it. We don't have to. We're going to just whip this in there with the mixer because we want it to be really fluffy and creamy like a cheesecake filling. So once we get that fully incorporated, when we come back, we're going to put all of these together and have a quick ganache topping, but the kicker is a little bit of chopped Reese's peanut butter cups on top.
Yum.
You have to have all of the layers together because this is just a really creamy, it's a perfect summer treat. But again, no need to heat up the house.
All right.
No
sounds
baking
like a plan.
involved.
All right, stick around. We'll be right back with those last steps. Welcome back to the KOA Morning News on Fox 14. Now, Lori is showing us the last few steps to her no-bake peanut butter cheesecakes. And if you could smell it right now, it smells absolutely amazing. So what do we have to do to finish up these delicious desserts?
Basically, now we're kind of getting to the point of some assembly required. We've got that nice chocolate crust in the bottom. It's patted in there really nicely. We're going to take a little bit bigger cookie scoop now and use that for our filling because what we want is to fill this cookie or this cupcake container all the way to the top with that cheesecake filling. And once you get all of these done, you do want to, I'm going to take a little back of my spoon and just kind of smooth those down. And then you'll want to let this chill in the fridge for about, say, 6 hours, give or take. You could do it overnight, do them the night before and just let them sit. You can go longer. But about, 4, 5, 6 hours. We want it to be firm on the top because our next step is just going to be a chocolate ganache topping. And that's just a little finish on there. That milk chocolate, the semi-sweet chocolate is going to give it a little bit of a good flavor to blend that chocolate crust together. But also we're going to top them with some crunched up or chopped up Reese's peanut butter cups. So this recipe, if we were to do the whole package of Oreo cookies and then with this much of our filling, we would do about 18, give or take, of our mini cheesecake. So I just did 12 there. And I've got, a decent little scoop about what's in this little cup here.
But maybe not enough
left.
for like
So
another full sheet.
Probably not enough for another dozen. So our ganache is very simple. Anytime you do that, you can just start with the heavy whipping cream, which we've got because we already used that in the filling, and heat it for about a minute in the microwave and pour it over your chocolate chips. and then just let it set for a minute, because the warmth of the cream will melt the chocolate chips, and then you can just take a whisk and very easily blend all that together, and it's going to make a really yummy, creamy topping. The trick when it comes to ganache is you have to be a little patient.
Right.
Because you got to make it, you got to heat it, but then you have to let it cool.
And then you have to wait to eat it even more.
Well, you don't have to wait to eat it.
Well, that's
you just,
true. That's true.
You just have to wait to pipe it. So you got to let it cool down a little bit so that it kind of stiffens up and gets to a consistency where you really can control it. Now, if you're drizzling it or you're dipping something in it, you don't have to wait at all. But these are some that I made last night, so they have set up. They're nice and firm, and you can just then pipe a little bit on the top. You don't really want to go overboard. Again, this is obviously a pretty sweet dessert, so a little's going to go a long way on those additions. And then we're going to just I took the mini Reese's peanut butter cups and chopped those up into some smaller pieces, so they were a little bit easier to handle. And oh my gosh,
I'm going to try just
so good.
Tiny little bit here.
This will be all of your sugar for the day for sure. I know, it's so good.
It's like an extra creamy Reese's peanut butter cup.
It really kind of is. And again, by taking that filling out of the Oreo cookies, you just get the rich chocolate flavor of that. Again, the filling's delicious, but it doesn't always blend with everything. And this isn't an Oreo dessert. We just want that rich chocolate. So it's perfect, and it blends with that ganache on top. Give it a try. You won't be disappointed.
Oh, it's perfect. She's right. Give it a try. All right. Well, again, thank you so much, Lori. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 723 on this Monday morning. And we've had a few isolated showers and storms, mainly along and south of I-44. However, those are all pretty well gone. Just a few sprinkles north of Mount Vernon, and that's about it. However, we will have an opportunity to see some additional showers and thunderstorms as we go through today. Here's Hurricane Beryl making landfall into southeastern Texas. So there's the center of circulation coming up on the west side of Houston and already dealing with some substantial flooding in the city of Houston. And Hurricane Beryl will eventually have a small impact on our forecast as we head into tomorrow. As for today, though, again, isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms initially, and then we'll see a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head later into the evening and into the overnight hours across the area. Not anticipating anything strong or severe, but nonetheless, a few showers and storms will be possible. Then as we go overnight into tomorrow, as the center of circulation for Beryl approaches, it's going to stay well to our southeast, but it'll be just close enough that we can get in on some of the western bands of Beryl. So this is where it gets a little interesting. If it wasn't for Beryl, we'd have no rain chances tomorrow. We don't have any other disturbances or systems coming through the area to trigger showers and storms. So outside of those rain bands that'll stay off to the, say, long and east of 69, you're going to be a little warmer. You're going to be drier out here in parts of southeastern Kansas and parts of Oklahoma because it's only Beryl bringing rain to the eastern half of our area. It's brief, and then it could trigger a few scattered showers and storms as well, as that center of circulation will eventually track just to the south of St. Louis, and then we'll dry out heading into our Wednesday ahead of some additional heat. So here's a look at Beryl right now. Still a Category 1 hurricane on land. 80-mile-an-hour winds now coming down to 75, and it will continue to again lift north, passing right along the west side of Houston, and then it's expected to curve back northeast. And as it does so, by about 1 o'clock tomorrow, center of circulation is going to be very close to Little Rock. So that's what I'm saying. It's going to be well off to our southeast, but we could get some of those rain bands, especially on the western sides, the eastern half of our area, those western rain bands out there. All right, our camera, 7th and range line, mostly cloudy skies in Joplin. 70 is where we're at. Winds are calm. Around the area, it's been a fairly nice start to the day, in all honesty. Upper 60s and low 70s, not too hot, not too cold. Really good out there. Isolated showers through the morning. Again, by the afternoon, we'll start to see a few more of those, making it about 80, and we'll be partly to mostly cloudy from here to there. And then, again, partly to mostly cloudy skies, and we'll have those scattered showers and storms as we head through the afternoon. Our highs today right around the mid-80s, and we'll maintain chances for scattered showers and storms through the evening and overnight, falling back into the upper 60s. And as we look ahead, again, for some of us, along and east of 69, scattered showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms, and that'll keep those who get the impacts from Beryl tomorrow be in the 80s. Out west, you're going to be upper 80s. All of us heating up, though, as we head into the weekend. Take a look at that. The sunny skies return, as does the dangerous heat, with temperatures climbing back close to 100 degrees. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's just coming up on 7:30. I'm Elise Snowy. We have an update on a fatal hit and run that occurred around 7 p.m. Friday night near Loma Linda, Missouri. Missouri Highway Patrol issued a BOLO, or be on the lookout, Friday night for a Dodge Dakota pickup truck. Tips from the public allowed authorities to locate said pickup and 35-year-old Richard Taylor of Racine, Missouri, who was taken into custody and his truck seized as evidence. This is exclusive footage of the authorities seizing the truck. The woman Taylor struck has been identified as Sheldona Wood, and she was 60 years old. 2 firefighters have been injured after battling a blaze in Joplin yesterday. Reports came in around 2 p.m. yesterday afternoon. The fire department reported that smoke was visible from Station 1. Heavy smoke and flames were said to be coming from the second floor of the residence. The house being reported as uninhabited, and 1 firefighter was treated on scene for heat exhaustion. Another after a railing he was holding broke, causing him to fall. The city of Granby hosted its 41st annual Old Mining Town celebration. One of the events is a pop-up market which showcases local businesses from across the region. Items for sale include freeze-dried candy, crocheted animals, tumblers, and more. All proceeds from the registration fees of the vendors goes by the Grow Granby Foundation.
Well, we've got good weather, see a lot of different people, and hope everybody has a good time.
We are better as a community. We support each other. I've seen tons of vendors walk around and support other vendors, and that makes me happy.
Over 50 vendors registered for the market. Now here's Chris with a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we had a few isolated showers and storms out there this morning. Nothing out there really right now other than just those remnant clouds from our camera 7th and range line. Still looking at mostly cloudy skies from the MoDOT camera 32nd and range line as well. So Skywatch Storm Tracker, that's what's left of those sprinkles out there. But I want to take it back down here. Here come the next round of showers and storms south of I-44 heading up toward the Tulsa area. But again, back toward us, all that we've got left are just a couple of sprinkles out there in northeastern Lawrence County. But those showers and storms, those again flared up, moved on out. It's this round that will bring us the next opportunity for scattered showers and storms out there. They'll be isolated to widely scattered initially. A lot of it's going to be confined along and south of I-44 initially as well. But then we'll start to see a few isolated showers, thunderstorms across a broader portion of the area as we head later into the afternoon and evening hours. Our temperatures this morning, very reasonable out there. We got upper 60s and low 70s, so a very nice start to the day. And you've got to enjoy it while you can, because it is going to get really hot as we head into the end of the weekend next week. As for today, though, again, partly to mostly cloudy skies, isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms out there, with our highs even just a wee bit below average into the mid 80s across the area. Hurricane Beryl will have at least a small impact on our forecast heading into Tuesday. And then, as I mentioned, is going to get downright hot. Well, details on all that in the full forecast here in a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. And speaking of Hurricane Beryl, after moving through the Gulf of Mexico and downgrading to a tropical storm, Beryl is heading towards Texas's southern coast, making landfall today and regain hurricane strength. Fox weather correspondent Katie Byrne has more from Galveston, Texas.
You never know. Mother Nature's funny, man. It could seem like a real light storm, all of a sudden bloom.
Southern Texas residents are prepping for possible storm surges, heavy rain, and high winds as Beryl approaches the state's coastal region.
I have food, gas, I have ice, a whole bunch of ice. I got food for 3 days. I have hurricane shutters, so they're about to, as soon as I get home, I'm going to close them.
Sandbags are piled up and storm shutters are in place as forecasters predict the tropical storm will likely regain its strength, turning it back into a hurricane before making landfall.
I'm a little worried. Just worried about some of my things blown away. I did put them away, but I don't want anything damaged.
FEMA has already sent emergency responders, search and rescue teams, bottled water, meals, tarps, and generators to the coast in case they're needed. State officials called Beryl's path narrow, but warned that doesn't mean it still can't be deadly.
It's a serious storm, and you must take it seriously and be prepared.
Last week, Beryl hit Mexico as a Category 2 hurricane, causing intense damage. Before that, the storm left a path of destruction through Jamaica, Barbados, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, killing more than 10 people. After Texas, the National Hurricane Center expects Beryl to turn and hit Arkansas late Monday and Tuesday. In Galveston, Texas, Katie Byrne, Fox News.
And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A Maryland town is reminded of how far they've come when they've opened a 50-year-old time capsule. Well, Greg Morris from Stronghold Data is with us this morning to invite folks to help understand what ransomware is and how one can protect themselves from it. Welcome to you. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. So can you talk to me a little bit about these ransomware tabletop exercises that are going to be going on and kind of just the skills that people can learn from these exercises?
Sure. So for the past couple of years, the Missouri Department of Homeland Security has been putting these trainings on for public sector employees because the public sector, like cities, counties, those are all places that are very heavily targeted for ransomware. And so these trainings allow public sector employees or even we've opened up to nonprofits now and educators to come and basically experience a real ransomware attack and practice how they're going to respond to it and coordinate with peers and basically just improve their responses, because when those attacks happen, they can be very scary.
Absolutely. And so is there also going to be some education on what ransomware is, a little background behind that, and then kind of more of a simulation, you know, getting those responses? And then what other types of skills are you hoping that they gain from this event?
Yeah, definitely. So they will learn what ransomware is, what it can look like if it attacks their organization, how they can respond to it, when they work together with peers, how to better communicate, especially if you're a city, how do you communicate with other cities around you? And then there's also an element of learning how to communicate to the public when these things happen. Those are difficult conversations that can happen. This training is perfect for helping you learn, okay, this is what I need to tell the public. Here's how we need to communicate what's going to happen.
Yes, absolutely. And can you talk to me a little bit about maybe the most common mistakes when reacting to a ransomware attack that people can, if they come to this event, can learn to combat those issues and to really just take hold and be prepared if a ransomware attack happens?
For sure. The biggest one is that they don't always know who to contact, where to go to, and there's a lot of complex factors that go into it, but this is where the Missouri Department of Homeland Security is going to step in and say, hey, here's the people you can contact, here's how you can respond to these incidents, here's how to know not to panic, essentially. And so it's a good opportunity for anyone in the public sector or public sector adjacent industries.
And for those folks who are, of the public sector or public sector adjacent, where can they go to sign up for this event, and when and where is it going to be?
Sure. So we actually have 3 going on this week. The main one's going to be in Joplin tomorrow at Stronghold Data tomorrow afternoon. We also have one in Springfield and then another in Jefferson City on Thursday. But the one in Joplin can be signed up at joplinransomware.eventbrite.com. Or you can call our office at 417-232-3333 and we'll get you signed up.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Thank you, Greg. And as you mentioned, you can sign up for tomorrow's ransomware training at joplinransomware.eventbrite.com, or you can call the number that you see there on the top of your screen. If you missed any of that, we'll, of course, have it on our website later, KOAMnewsnow.com. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 7:42 now on this Monday morning. And on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, got a couple of stray showers out there, which we'll look at closer. But it's just a brief pause. We'll see additional shower and thunderstorm developments, some already taking place down south of Tulsa. That will eventually move up into our area. And we've got, again, just a couple of stray showers out there after we actually had a few thunderstorms this morning. Then well off to our south, Hurricane Beryl has made landfall on southeastern Texas, just to the southwest of Houston, and that's where the center of circulation is, and it will eventually impact our weather as we head into tomorrow. So let's talk about today first. We've got scattered, isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. So initially, not everybody's going to see rain right off the top, but we will begin to see a bit more of this shower and thunderstorm activity as we go into the late night and overnight hours. And then as we head toward Tuesday, the center of circulation for Beryl is expected to remain well to our south and east, but it'll be just close enough that we could get some rain bands out of that. That'll generate some additional showers and maybe thunderstorms as we go through the day, mainly along into the east of the 69 corridor. And then after that kind of fizzles out, a few refires of some scattered showers and storms in roughly that same zone are possible. So with that said, because we don't have any actual systems contributing to thunderstorm development, if you're not close enough to get the impacts of Beryl through Tuesday, you'll be a little warmer and a little sunnier than your neighbors to the east. So here's the latest on Beryl. Still a Category 1 storm, but winds have come down from 80 now to 75 in the latest updates here, and it is just on the southwest side of Houston. It will continue to track off to the north and to the east, with the center of circulation as a depression right over Little Rock by 1 o'clock tomorrow. But again, that'll put it just close enough that some of us will get some of those rain bands off of the system. All right, in Joplin right now, we got mostly cloudy skies, 70 degrees. The winds are calm, and around the area, we've had a really nice start to the day temperature-wise. We've got upper 60s and low 70s just across the board, so an absolutely lovely start to the day. And again, we even had some of those isolated thunderstorms this morning. We've got mostly cloudy skies, an isolated shower or two through the morning, and we'll start to see chances gradually increase as we head through the afternoon and into the evening. 80 by 11 o'clock as we head into the afternoon. Again, highs today at or even just a bit below normal as we go into the mid-80s across the area. And as we head into this evening, we'll have scattered showers and thunderstorms out there as well. And again, not bad, back into the upper 60s for our overnight lows. So again, some of you tomorrow will be a little warmer than this, back into the mid to upper 80s, similar to today, just less rain. But those getting those rain bands off of Beryl, it'll be a little cooler, a little wetter. Unfortunately, all of us going to get a little sunnier and a little hotter out there. In fact, a lot hotter as dangerous heat returns to the forecast heading into the weekend. Temperatures back into the upper 90s near 100. That's a check of your forecast. Now I send it over to Elise with Consumer Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. The Boeing company has agreed to a plea deal over 2 plane crashes in order to sidestep criminal court proceedings. The Justice Department says Boeing has accepted a criminal fraud charge related to 2 737 MAX jetliner crashes. The October 2018 Lion Air crashed in Indonesia that killed 189 people. And the March 2019 Ethiopian Airlines flight crash in Ethiopia that killed 157 people. Boeing's new guilty plea will let it avoid a criminal trial, and Boeing will pay a $243.6 million fine. Well, your next job may not be what you think it is, if it's even real at all, thanks to con game help from artificial intelligence. A report by the Identity Theft Resource Center shows that the use of AI in job scams went up 118% from 2022 to 2023. The report says job scammers increasingly use AI in posting fake jobs or recruiting for fake jobs and stealing information. Well, there's a big gap between the haves and the have-nots in who's making student loan payments. A New York Times report says Education Department data shows that while 20 million student loan holders have started paying back their loans since the pandemic pause, about 19 million others have not done so as of March. Borrowers can still catch a break until September for on-ramps allowing payment holding patterns, but their loans will still accrue interest during that on-ramp time. And those are our top consumer stories. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. Well, a town in Maryland celebrated 100 years by creating a time capsule in 1974.
50 years later, it was time to open the capsule. Ashley McDowell shares the reaction from today's residents.
This one I don't remember. Kathy and Tom carefully reflect on newspaper articles from 1974.
So this talks about my mom and what she was doing for the centennial.
Articles that were buried in a time capsule 50 years ago by their parents in Shamrock Park when the citizens celebrated the town of Bel Air's 100-year anniversary.
I was really surprised. I didn't think we were going to see anything that our parents had put in there.
For Bel Air's 150th celebration, treasures that are frozen in time were unearthed.
50 years ago, they buried this time capsule, and on it there was a plaque, and it said that it was to be opened today, July 4th. But unfortunately, it was buried in the front of our band shell behind us, underneath brick. We had to have a mason out to bring it out.
The capsule didn't weather the storms.
And sometimes that water must have breached the seal, and the box was full with an inch or two of water.
Town clerk Michael Krantz says items were taken out of the capsule a couple months early to dry out what could be preserved.
While many items didn't make it, there is an array that did, slipped into plastic baggies for people to observe and reflect.
I don't know if you can see it here, but there was a cassette tape that somebody left to their family member that unfortunately got ruined by the storm water.
A new capsule is being filled and will be sealed up at the end of the year and placed in Town Hall, not to be opened until July 4th, 2074.
Time capsules are always so interesting. I mean, even 50 years ago, and
Oh,
a new
yeah.
time capsule replacing that. I wonder what they're going to put in there too, you know.
Hopefully this one's a
define
bit
us.
more
Yeah.
weatherproof than that one was. That
Seriously.
sucks.
That happens
I mean,
a
that's
lot.
tough. Yeah. That is tough, but still fascinating to look at what
Absolutely.
survived. Well, let's talk about some rain chances. We're going to start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker, which right now there's really nothing on it in our immediate area. We did have some isolated showers and storms this morning, but if we take the Skywatch Storm Tracker down to our south and west just a little, we're seeing some additional redevelopment, and we'll see additional scattered showers and storms out there. Right now, just a couple of stray showers in the parts of Jasper County, and that's about it. Again, well to our south is Hurricane Beryl, having made landfall now southwest of Houston, and Beryl will eventually play a role in our weather as we head into Tuesday. As for the rest of today, though, again, isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head through the afternoon and evening. We'll see a few more of those as we go through the evening and overnight hours. No strong or severe storms expected. And then Beryl, center of circulation to our southeast, but still could bring some isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms for at least some of us as we head into our Tuesday. That is a check of your forecast. We're going to have no look at that, plus the news you need to know when we come back.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Missouri Highway Patrol has arrested a man in connection with a hit and run on Friday evening. Troopers issued a bolo for a Dodge Dakota pickup truck. Public tip came in that allowed troopers to locate and arrest 35-year-old Richard Taylor of Racine, Missouri, and seize the truck as evidence. 60-year-old Sheldona Wood, who was struck by Taylor, did not survive. Well, Nevada, Missouri Fire Chief and Emergency Management Director Michael T. Denny was arrested over the weekend for driving while intoxicated. The fire chief was reportedly responding to an active fire scene driving a City of Nevada vehicle. He was transported to the police department, cited for a DWI, then released. 2 firefighters have been injured after battling a fire in Joplin yesterday. Heavy smoke and flames were said to be coming from the second floor of the residence. One firefighter was treated on scene for heat exhaustion, and another after a railing he was holding broke, causing him to fall.
And we've got ourselves an opportunity for scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head through the afternoon into the evening. Our highs today right about the mid-80s, so at least temperature-wise, not too bad. Isolated to widely scattered showers and storms through the evening and overnight hours as well, back into the upper 60s. The remnants of Beryl will be parked to our south and east tomorrow, but it'll still bring an opportunity for some showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm out there. Then after that, summer kicks back in. The sun comes out, temperatures dangerously hot, close to 100 degrees as we head into the weekend and the start of next week.
Alrighty. Well, a falling meteor was spotted in the skies across last Friday night, with images of the bright green light shared across social media platforms. Turkish space officials confirmed this sighting on Twitter.
Colors formed when meteors enter the atmosphere and will vary depending on several factors, such as the chemical composition of the meteor, its speed, and the gases present in the Earth's atmosphere. And I've seen some green ones like that initially out here. I saw a couple actually pretty close together last year.
Oh,
within
how
like a
interesting.
short time frame of each other,
Really
like just a few
interesting.
weeks of each other. So very neat
There
to
you
see. A
go,
little bit
yeah.
spooky at 2, 3
Sometimes,
o'clock in the
yeah,
morning, but
oh, yeah, I'm
just
sure.
like, what is that? You're still waking up. You're like, what is
It
going
still
on
is from
outside?
outer space, Chris, so you never quite know.
Yeah, that's true. That's our time for now. We'll be back today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.